up, everybody? Welcome to Just My Two Cents. I'm super excited to be coming back to you all today with another video. So, if you haven't already, make sure that you go ahead and you like the video, that you share it, and that you subscribe. Also, shout out to all the new subscribers. If you're watching this video and you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We're really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and you can help us do so. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video, which will be talking about DoorDash and how DoorDash is, not necessarily dashing food. They're dashing away with people's money as well as people's food. So, let's go ahead and jump right into today's story. So, Valentine's Day weekend, I decided to order DoorDash. Now, I know in a previous video, I warned us about, using those delivery services, talking about like how we really shouldn't be using those. We really need to go to the restaurant to see how they're preparing our food. But I was really in a time crunch that weekend, and I needed to have some DoorDash delivered so that it could go along with the plans that I had for that particular evening. So, I ordered the food and I waited. And I did receive a notification that my food had been delivered. So I was, excited because I'm like, okay, well, everything is starting to fall into line. However, that's kind of where things began to get a little shaky or a little crazy in a sense, because the app on my computer had said that my food had been delivered, but I did not receive a notification on my phone, which I normally would, receive saying like, hey, your food has been delivered. Also, usually with that notification, the driver would send a picture to say like, this is your food, it's on, your doorstep, have a nice night, whatever. Also, another thing that was kind of strange is that my dog, he didn't bark at all. And usually anytime somebody comes to my door, he like goes crazy, barking and carrying on. And I just thought those two things were strange. Like, the app on my computer said that the food had been delivered, but I didn't receive a notification on my phone. I did not receive a picture with that notification because I didn't receive the notification, and my dog did not bark at all. So I began to get a little concerned because I'm like, okay, well, maybe, it's Valentine's Day weekend. They're in a rush. Maybe the app might be a little backed up, or, they're trying to get to the next order really quickly. So, it's cool, whatever. So I go downstairs and I check my front porch. I don't see anything. So I go and I ask my sister, I'm like, hey, did you get my food off the porch? And she says no. So I go back outside to my front porch and I check again. And I still don't see anything. So I actually go outside and I check behind the different pillars on my porch, because sometimes with Amazon packages, they'll hide those so people won't see them, kind of like out of sight, out of mind, so nobody doesn't walk up and walk away with your package. So shout out to FedEx and UPS for doing that. However, I'm thinking maybe DoorDash has started to do this too. So I check around my house. I don't see anything. So I go back inside my house and I look on my phone to see if, I missed a text message, if I missed a phone call or something, and I don't see anything. So I go and I ask my sister one more time, like, hey, are you sure you didn't get my food off the porch? And she says, no, I didn't. So I go back to my front porch again and I check again, and then I receive a text message from my DoorDasher, and my DoorDasher says your food has been delivered, and it shows a picture of my food on my doormat. I'm like, okay, great. But I'm like, not great, because my computer been said about 3 or 4 minutes ago that you delivered the food. Now I'm getting a text message saying that you delivered the food. So I'm like, okay, this is getting to be a little odd. So at this point, I go back outside. I look, check my doormat, because the picture shows my doormat and the food on the doormat, and I don't see the food. I see the doormat, but I do not see the food. So I'm also beginning to think that my sister got the food off the porch and didn't want to tell me. So I go back in and I check the microwave and I check the oven. Nothing is there. So I go outside one more time to make sure that the driver didn't just deliver it, or I'm just overlooking it, or whatever the case might be, and I still don't see anything. Then, I try to look around at this point, because I'm like, maybe a neighbor or somebody kind of walked off with my food. I don't see anybody. And to be completely honest, like, I've never had an issue with a neighbor or anybody coming up and taking anything off my porch. And so at this point, I'm starting to feel bad that I even think that a neighbor would even do anything like that. I also feel bad that I would even think that my sister would take my food and hide it from me. So I'm like, okay, well, this is beginning to get strange. So while I'm doing this, my sister decides to check the cameras that we have. And when she checks the cameras, she discovers a lot of information that I probably could have realized from the jump if I had to just remembered and just taken some time to check the cameras too. So when I come back inside, she tells me that on the camera, she saw the man drop the food off. And then about 30 seconds later, the man came back, picked up the food, and walked away. So I look at the cameras and I see the exact same thing. So he drops the food off, and then 30 seconds later, he comes back, looks at like a receipt or something, picks up the food, and just walks off and never returns. So at this point, I'm really trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I'm like, maybe he picked up the wrong order from the restaurant. Maybe not only did he pick up the wrong food from the restaurant, he maybe got the wrong food out his car or something. He's trying to go return it, and bring the food back. I'm really trying to make up all of these different scenarios that would kind of help me cope with the situation a little bit better. So with that being said, I decided to text the DoorDash number that he texted me from, like, hey, my food isn't out there. Are you sure that you delivered the food to the right place? Now, I knew it was the right place because nobody else in my neighborhood has that exact doormat that I have. Also, not only that, but I know what my porch looks like. So, he doesn't text back. And also, the number that I text, it gives me this little notification that it's rerouting me back to my DoorDash for updates. So I'm like, okay, well, hopefully it reroutes me back to the right person or somebody that can help get me some answers. So I wait for like 5 minutes, and then I see that the person isn't trying to text me back. I see that the app or whatever isn't really trying to do anything for me in regards to giving me updates or anything about like where my food is. And I just come to the conclusion that my food has been stolen by that particular DoorDasher. And at this point, I'm really shocked because I'm like, who steals food that they just delivered? At this point, most people have some type of camera, have some type of device, recording device, where if you come up to their porch, if you come up to their house, you're on camera. So if you take something from them, they can see you clear as day. They don't have to be at home to see you. They can see you clear as day on that camera, so they know exactly who to take a picture to the police station. Now, I'm not saying I'm taking a picture of this person to the police station over some food, but still, if you steal something from somebody nowadays, like, they can, they have you on camera, so you don't really need to be out here stealing people's stuff. Well, this particular person did. And not only did this particular person steal my food, but they didn't even try to contact me again about like any notification, even trying to lie, saying like, hey, I went back to the restaurant to pick up your food because I picked up the wrong order or whatever. So I decided to contact DoorDash, and they gave me back my money. They gave me back the tip that I gave that person, and they gave me a credit. Now, I was like low-key pissed because not only did this kind of mess up my plans for that evening, but I also gave that person like a really bomb tip for that day. Like, I really gave them an awesome tip for that particular day. Luckily, everything worked out where I was able to get my money back, my tip back, and DoorDash gave me a credit. But I ended up having to go get my food myself, and I had to cancel my plans for that evening. But I'm not even going to lie, like, I was very, very, very pissed off. And not only was I pissed off, but I wanted to see, was I the only person like having this issue? Has anybody else had this issue before? So I decided to check social media. A lot of people have been having a lot of issues with DoorDash simply because people were talking about how their food comes to them cold, or the orders are canceled, or either the person doesn't deliver the food, or not only doesn't deliver the food, but the food is open or something. I mean, it's just so many different stories out there. And one of the stories that I found that was really crazy was the fact that one person ordered some food before, and I guess they've had so many issues with them ordering food through the app and either the food being cold or not delivered, that at this point they can't get a refund and they can't get any type of credit or anything. And so they kind of talked about their experience on social media. If you're interested in like seeing some of these stories, all you have to do is go to Twitter and then type in #DoorDash, and a lot of these stories will pop up as some of their top stories. So after reading all of these, I decided that personally, I'm just going to go pick up my food from now on. I will just have to plan better in the future. I will no longer be using this particular service. I'm not sure about other services, but I know for this particular service, I will not be using this because this is a mess. Like, you work hard for your money. You try to patronize places and apps so that people can have a job, especially nowadays. And then, for somebody to turn around and do this is just crazy. So with people out here playing games, I don't want them playing games with my money, and I don't want them playing games with my food. So if you haven't already, make sure that you go ahead, you like this video, make sure that you go ahead and share this video and subscribe. And if you have a story similar to the one shared in this video, make sure that you drop down in the comments and you share below. With that being said, I'll see you all next time. Peace.